Good evening from Citizen Channel Central. How is everybody? You still there, Big Morgan? What time did you come on? About half six? You still there? Right, guys, what are we talking about tonight? Are we talking Saints? Are we talking Copenhagen? Are we talking the Scousers? Hey, what we gonna talk about? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what we're gonna talk about and what comes up. Right, Big Morgan, you were here keen, and now you've disappeared again. So where are you there? Yes, very interesting. Big week. Should be easy tomorrow, shouldn't it? Tuesday night. Should be easy against Copenhagen, that's for sure. What it'll be like for the weekend, I'm all worried about that. Old school Haaland girl, I'm here. Yes, great picture that the other day, Vic. Great picture on Twitter. I reposted it for you. We got a few likes and stuff, didn't you? So I'll put that back out there. Big Morgan's here. He's there. He's everything where. Big Morgan. He's here. He's there. He's every. What do you think of the game on Saturday, guys? Did you get to watch it, both of you? Hate the Chumps League. Why do you hate the Chumps League, Big Morgan? Is it because we haven't won it? I used to not be bothered about it. I just want it off our back now. I just want the monkey off our back. But I used to go to the Chimps League. Chimps. It's boring. Why is it? Well, it's boring until they get to the knockouts. It wasn't boring against Real Madrid last year in the semi-final, was it? Until the last 10 minutes, the last 5 minutes, and then injury time, and extra time. That's for sure. How did the girls go on, Vicky? The girls were playing with it weekend. What? Steve Bruce. You've lost me there, Big Morgan. Nothing's happened to Steve Bruce, has it? Although it's one of your things that's over my head, goes like that. Right over my head. Steve Bruce. Oh, sacked. Right, okay, Big Morgan. I think rest in peace is a bit harsh if he's been sacked. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what it's saying on the Tinternet. Excuse me. I've got rid of most of my cold. I just can't get rid of my cough now. Steve Bruce. Let's have a look. Steve Bruce. West Bromwich Albion. I'm sure he's got a nice big payoff. I'm sure he's not gonna suffer any. That's for sure. Anyway, so where's he going next? Then is he going to go to Forest? Who else is struggling? Old school. Unfortunately, the ladies lost on Sunday, as did the first team in the FA Trophy. At least City. Well, that's it. Well, you can always rely on City, can't you, Vicky? That's the thing. If your lot let you down, you can. It's great when they all win, though, isn't it? It died in the last 15 minutes on Saturday. Do you think so, Big Morgan? It's just, I think once he makes the substitutions, it just takes the sting out of it, doesn't it? I think now we've got these 5 substitutions, and he can make like 3 lots, can't he? Can make 3 lots, a couple of 1s and a 3, or 2 2s and a 1, or something like that. I think that takes the sting out of games, and it's all right if you're winning, but if you're not winning, it's a tactic to delay the game, isn't it? To bring everything down. That's the problem with these 5 substitutes now. That's what I don't like about it. I think it should go back to just 1. Just have 1 substitute. Go back and just have 1, not 5. I mean, what's ridiculous about, isn't it? At least Palmer's getting some time on the pitch. That's for sure. Liverpool lost. Well, did you watch the game, Vicky? I've not watched Arsenal Liverpool live this season. I've seen a bit of Match of the Day, but I thought they were both not great. I thought Arsenal started like an house on fire. I thought, bloody hell, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, they just sort of sat back once he went a goal up. And then when they went drew, they started again, and they sat back again when they went 2-1 up. Arsenal are all right. I don't think they're a patch on us, guys. Do you think? Do you think they're going to get anywhere near it? I think. I don't think they're that brilliant. It's just that obviously they've got momentum, as we say, isn't it? He should change keeper. Well, yeah, I mean, but I don't think they do that, Big Morgan, because it's a bit of bit of pride, isn't it? I think it's a bit embarrassing to change your keeper. It's weird though, isn't it? It's not embarrassing to change your players, but it's looked on as being a bit embarrassing if you change your keeper, unless it's just before a penalty shootout and the keeper won't go off. That'll be the best thing to do with it. Saw it on Match of the Day. Did they make Arsenal look good, Vicky? Because they were all right. Don't get me wrong. They were okay, and they could worry us with Martinelli and Saka on the wings. But I didn't either Liverpool or Arsenal. I didn't see anything to worry us at all. And of course, Liverpool, it's their be all and end all this week. If they don't beat us on Sunday, I think it's all over, isn't it? I mean, I think it's a do or die for them, as far as Liverpool are concerned. Big Morgan, Liverpool should have had a pen. The trouble with Oliver, Big Morgan, is that he makes quick decisions, and for some reason VAR don't seem to get involved that much when Oliver makes decisions, as though everything's okay. I mean, this thing with the arms and being in different positions, that foul on Jesus, I mean, it was a bit of a dive, wasn't it? It didn't hit him that much either, mate, and that was obviously in Arsenal's benefit, but I think Jesus went down a little bit too easy there. If he'd done that for us, I wouldn't have been overly impressed. If he'd done the same for us. Looks like there's only us three guys at the moment. They're supposed to Big Morgan, Vicky, don't desert me yet. Saw some pics of Klopp being into after the match, and he looks like, well, there's a lot of rumours that he's on his way, mate. There's a lot of people, Vicky. There's a lot of people saying he's going to be sacked. Which I don't know. I jumped on it and thought, yeah, perhaps he will. Perhaps his Liverpool are knackered now. He did the same with Dortmund. He looked good, and then all of a sudden he fell down a hole, I believe. And he's been at Liverpool, what, 7 years? 7 years? Is it 7 years? So it's got to be due. He's got to be due to go, hasn't he? United penalty last week was soft. Yeah, it was, Big Morgan. Yeah, definitely. And again, there was no real query about it. It's as though. So on these penalties, there's no real furore about it. They just get on with it. Someone said he only stays at clubs for so many years. I think, Vicky, if you think about how Pep plays as a manager and how he runs the team, the guys, it's a lot of mental stress, isn't it? I think Liverpool with Klopp's are very similar things because they haven't got the skill. They've just got pure work rate. So if you've got your work rate non-stop for year on year on year, it's bound to have an effect. I mean, I'm not saying they haven't got skillful players, but I think generally it has a negative effect on your journeyman players. Your Milners, that sort of thing. Your Hendersons. It's got to have some sort of effect on your players that are punching above the weight, which is what I think those players do. But he'll get a nice pay. I don't know. Did he sign a new contract? I don't know if he signed a new contract. Could come to us, of course, if Pep goes. How do you fancy Klopp taking over from Pep? Or Steve Bruce, as Big Morgan intimated. Don't care about Clippers. You only care about Pep, who hasn't signed. Big Morgan, you know what I was saying? I've been saying about him going on. So I think with this World Cup, Pep's going to have a bit of time off, isn't he? He's going to have 3 or 4 weeks in the sun, play golf, meet up with his wife, do what men and women do, and meet up with the kids. And I just think it'll rejuvenate him. I honestly believe now that he'll probably come back, sign a new contract, and stay for a couple of years. Now, I've never said that before, as you know, Big Morgan. If you listen to me, I've always said he's going. So I've changed now. I'm being more positive. But having said that, if he doesn't get us the Champions League, he can sod off anyway. I've had enough of him. I mean, if it takes another manager to win us the Champions League, I'll have that. Playing defensive football. Just do it once, so that'll be fine. I don't care. Who's on tonight? Is it Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa? That's Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. Early kickoff tomorrow, guys. Are you going to be able to watch it, or are you going to be 5:45? Is that a problem? Why don't we never have? Do we have these in the UK? We've never had a 5:45 kickoff at the Etihad, have we? On these European nights, do English clubs not have to do that, or have we just been lucky? Does anyone know? Does anyone of the three of you on know? Big Morgan always fall out in Chumps League late stage. Well, we shouldn't have done last year, should we, Big Morgan? You know, we shouldn't have done. I'm not saying we would have won it in the final, but there's no way we should. There's no way on earth we should have lost that game last year. No way on this planet should we have lost that semi-final against Real Madrid. If you think about when Mahrez put that ball in the net, it was just game management, and we didn't. You know, it's time to start falling on the floor when you're injured. It's time to start taking the ball into the corners. And we never did. We just played open football, and that wasn't like City anyway, because we know how to manage games. We know how to sort of hang on to leads and manage games. And it was just so frustrating. And yes, it didn't look as though they'd score in a million years. So, yeah, we weren't panicking. You know, we weren't shouting at the screen, take it to the corner flag with 5 minutes to go. But that's what they should have been doing. They should have been doing what Real Madrid were doing in injury time, which was literally falling over and pretending to be badly injured every 2 minutes. If you think, we remember when they got the penalty, went 3-2, you know, went ahead on aggregate. That's all they did. So we should have been doing that for the last 10 minutes of the game, and we just didn't. And that's where it all fell flat. So whose fault's that? Is it the players' fault? You know, how can you say it's the players' fault? Because we know they do it. We've seen them do it. We've seen them do it in games at our place. We've seen them do it against, you know, the famous one at Old Trafford where we took it to the corner flag and started messing about. One against Aston Villa last season. You know, we took it to the corner flag and started wasting time. You know, with a couple of minutes left, and that's what we did. So why didn't we do it against Real Madrid? So really, Big Morgan, we should have won it. We should have won it the years Chelsea won it. We should have beat them. We just weren't good enough because he made one big fatal error, and we should have at least got to the final last year. And why not beat Liverpool? We'd drawn with them, and we'd drawn with them a couple of times and should have beat them last year anyway. So very disappointing. We always, all the year before. Vicky, there was no early match on Saturday, which is unusual, and a late match yesterday. I don't know why they keep changing. Well, that's 7 o'clock on a Sunday. What's that about? What's 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening? What? I mean, I'm not religious, don't get me wrong, but that people are going back to work on the Monday. That is absolutely, you know, 4:30 is fine, 5 o'clock at a pinch. But I mean, obviously, you know, I just don't understand. It's just for TV, but it's, you know, there's no consideration for football or the fans. There's nothing worse than going out 7 o'clock kickoff. You get say it'd been us and not United over to Merseyside, come back, and you literally have to go to bed and up for work, aren't you? It's just ridiculous. BT, well, yeah, I mean, Sky are just as worse. All the other guys are just as worse, aren't they? I mean, it's on BT tomorrow, the Champions League, isn't it? So they have these 5:45 so they can get 2 games in, which is understandable. That's how they make the money in UEFA. That's how they do it. But these league games, all right, we've got to squeeze a load in before the World Cup, but just absolutely silly. Vicky, what sort of times do your games kick off? Are they just normal, or do you have weird times? I know there's obviously not on television, but are they just standard times, or do you have varying times for the girls and the men when they're playing? Is it just normal, like 3 o'clock kickoffs on a Sunday, on a Saturday, or something like that? Is that just the norm that's accepted? Well, I put a team out for tomorrow, guys, for the Copenhagen game, and I think we'll go strong tomorrow. I think Pep will want to get it won, get the points in the bag, and obviously go from there. So I'll put them on the screen in a minute, bit by bit. Roy Keane's on TV. Looks like Saddam Hussein on a bad day. Well, he could do that. They could do that beard being trimming, couldn't he? So I'm going. Here's my team, guys. Let me know what you think, Vicky. Let me know what you think, Big Morgan, or anyone else is there. I'm just trying to get it up now on me. Can't find it now. My phone's playing up. I save things and then they suddenly disappear. I can't understand where they're going. I'm doing something wrong, guys. I don't know what it is. Right, in there, Edison. I'm not going for Ortega tomorrow. I'm going for Edison. Vicky, Saturday 3 p.m. first team. Yeah, that's fair enough. Sunday 2:30 p.m. ladies. At least you can get to watch both, Vicky. It's not like when City women and City men are playing at the same day and around the country, is it? Midweek 7:30. Well, that's how it should be, isn't it? I mean, I didn't play. I used to play. What did I play? Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, and Sunday mornings. At one stage, I used to play. So I'm going Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, and Gomez. So I'm going Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, and Gomez, and Edison in net. I don't think Ortega's going to get a game tomorrow. I think Edison's going to be in net again. And then I'm going KDB, believe it or not, Rodri and Gundogan in the middle. And Grealish, Haaland. Yes, I think Haaland will play again because he's going to get a rest in the World Cup. Haaland and Alvarez. But if I get 7 of them right, I'll be happy because I just have no idea what Pep's going to do tomorrow. Vicky said, Alfie once said Roy Keane looked like Saddam. Well, he does. He doesn't sound like him. But he doesn't look like Saddam now. I think Saddam's a little bit worn out now. I don't think Roy Keane looks like Saddam Hussein now. Excuse me, I'm just a pesky cough. Any of you guys had colds and coughs? I've got rid of the crappy feeling. I've just got bloody coughs now. Rest Haaland for Slaughter. No, he's thriving, Big Morg. He doesn't need a rest. Just get his eye in tomorrow with another hat-trick. Ready to pull Dick Van Dijk about. There you go. That's what Vicky thinks of Roy Keane. Oh, he's always liked you as well, Vicky. He's always liked you, Roy Keane. He's always said how he likes you. We're very quiet tonight, guys. Not many on tonight. Perhaps this live thing's running out of steam, guys. What do you think? I don't like doing things unless people are interested. If people aren't bothered, then I'll knock it on the head and think of something else because it's just pointless. Otherwise, it's nice to chat to you. Of course, it is. It's wonderful, but it'd be nice to have more than. I mean, we get up to 9 or 10 people on normally, but as I say, It's interesting. I was going to play with getting StreamYard again and having guests on and stuff, but I don't know. Vicky, Roy Keane has always been ugly. Big Morgan, it's the wages you pay. Hey, what are wages, mate? I don't know what wages are. I keep I don't know what wages are, mate. That's for sure. Yeah, it's the bag, innit? It's the paper bags. It's the brown paper bags, mate. That's where I'm falling down. Can't stand Roy Keane. Never liked him before. To Alfie. Well, yeah, as a player, Vicky, you don't want him against you, do you? As a player, I hated him playing against us. A lot of the time he didn't because we were in the same divisions. But I mean, I hated playing United. I mean, I don't like playing United now, but I hated playing United back in the day when they were beating us all the time. And we did win the odd one, but it was the odd one. We didn't win many. When all this about form going out the window is utter garbage. We just didn't win many. It's as simple as that. We won the odd one against the odds, but not too many. And Roy Keane's one of those players. If he plays for you, fantastic. If he's your player, yeah, you get behind him. If he's a bit like that, I mean, we love Nigel de Jong, don't we? But he could leave his foot in a little bit as well. Big Morgan, I know a guy who's from Cork. He says Keane's dart is barred from most of all the pubs for fighting. Well, that's where my ancestors are supposed to be. Big Morgan in Cork. That's where there's supposed to be a few Deneen's in Cork. D-I-double-N spelt like I am as well with 2 N's and 2 E's, but I don't know how true that is. But I have been. I have thought about. I've been to just travel up round and see what the place is like. I believe it's very nice. Have you ever been, Vicky? Have you been over to Ireland and Cork? Well, how old's his dad, Big Morgan? I mean, how old's he's a bit old to be fighting still, isn't he? Is he in a caravan or something? Is he one of these? Is that what he is? Is he a traveller? I'm from Belfast, but I'm not all bad. I've not been to Belfast, Big Morgan. Would you advise me to come and have a look? A lot of history. There's a lot of history. Is it all right, Belfast? I wouldn't mind going one day. What do you think? Would I be welcome? Haven't been to Ireland yet. As long as you take your brolly, Vicky, you're all right. Don't. He built a house for him. Oh, well, there you go. So he was in a caravan with his horse, and he built a house. Do they still allow the horses to run around in parts of Ireland, in the cities, sort of just on the curb, sort of eating the grass and stuff like that? Has it changed? I didn't see many when I was in Dublin. Then again, I was more or less at the Guinness factory and the castle and all that sort of thing. Looking at I'm a big history buff, as you know, guys. Not just football, but just general history as well. I love history. So yeah, I remember getting there. We went on Ryanair, I think, and the day we got there, there was a storm. It was horrible. Never stopped raining for the first day, and then I was there 3 nights, I think. So it was wonderful after that. I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't mind seeing some of the country. I wouldn't mind getting a car and having a drive around, Big Morgan. Can you? What's the thing like with the border now, Big Morgan? Can you go up north and down south? Can you drive easy? Do you need any sort of paperwork or anything like that? Big Morgan, Cork is a very poor part of Ireland, not much money, right? Big Morgan, yeah, that surprises me because I have heard a lot of positive. Not because it's poor doesn't mean it's not a nice place, but I have heard a lot of positivity about Cork. When I've mentioned Dublin, and people have said, "Oh no, you want to really get over to Cork as well." I've heard that. So obviously, what you say there. Obviously, does all the money go into Dublin? Then all the stuff go on to the capital, stuff like that. And are you watching the footy tonight? You're not bothered with Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest? I can't imagine that being very exciting. Who's the next manager to go? Steve Bruce has gone, as you said, Big Morgan. Who's the next manager to go there? Is it Cooper? Is he going to be next, or is it going to be Klopp? And Hassan Hutton's still there, isn't he? I thought he was going after if he didn't get a result against City. Big Morgan, I'm never down south. Too many three staters. Well, I think that's the whole idea of the Republic of Ireland, Big Morgan. I think that's the principle. I think that's what it works on. Rodgers, yeah, I forgot Rodgers could go. Yeah, Rodgers. I've got a ticket for the Leicester game actually. So I've only been to 2 away games this season. They've both been at King Power because I went to Community Shield and I've got a ticket for Leicester now. So I'm really putting the boat out this season so far, and then that'll be it then till after the World Cup. So, and we're going at 7 in the morning because it's an 12:30 kickoff. So 7 in the morning, get in the pub at 9:30, and leave the pub about 11 to get an escort to the ground. That's apparently what they're saying at the supporters club. I don't mind because it's a nice coach. It's quiet. They don't have alcohol in it, and I'm too old to be getting all giddy with the kids drinking alcohol. I know I'm boring. Saturday 12:30, Big Morgan. Yeah, Saturday the 29th. So we've got Liverpool away, haven't we? And then we got the Champions League and home game, and then Leicester away. I think that's our last away game. Then we have 2 or 3 home games after that before the World Cup. We have 3 home games on the trot. Didn't Forest sign loads of players? They signed about 23, Vicky, 23 players. I remember seeing on a picture on social media, and it was like 100 players in red in a team group. And it wasn't Forest, but the joke was not Forest's roster for 22-23, which was quite funny. But it's ridiculous, Vicky. Why? I mean, what is the logic in just kick? I mean, you've got your guys who got you promoted. You stick with the basis of them, and you add 4 or 5 people to it. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand the logic. It's like when Thingy took over Wolves. You can understand it. Brought all these Portuguese players in, but at least they were sort of quality and proven that they could play football. I don't. I mean, he doesn't even know. Cooper probably doesn't know half of them. But they probably have name badges probably have name badges on who they are when they're training, because you wouldn't know who they are. I mean, obviously, I've not looked at Forest to see how much the lineup's changed over the first 8 or 9 games, but it must be ridiculous. I don't know, Big Mo, just desperation, mate. I think just to try and stay in the Premier League. There's no logic to it. They're punching above the weight by getting into the Premier League. So spend wisely. I mean, does it show that Cooper didn't know? No wonder he's getting sacked. If that's his philosophy as a manager. Surely he should have said, quality not quantity, just to back up the players he's got. Big Morgan, do I like Cancelo now? Big Morgan, he showed me up a couple of times. I'm just talking to my lad. I don't shout it loud. I just say to my lad things. And obviously, when Cancelo had a couple of his runs up the wing, and I just nipped to my lad and said, "Oh, he's going to do this with his right of his boot again and stuff like that." I said, next minute, the ball's in the back of the net. So, I'm not going to pick on him anymore, because as a left winger, absolutely brilliant. As a fullback, no. And that's what he is. So if we're attacking and we don't need him defending, it's fair enough. He's okay. But I still think I'd rather have a more creative player, because I think he is creative. But if he's going to be a creative player, I can think of, we perhaps get someone better. A lot of people have been slagging off Marc. Well, who's getting slagged? You think about it, Vicky, it was Grealish at the start of the season was getting a bit of a whipping, wasn't he? But he's improved a little bit, so he's been let off. Obviously, Haaland, they're not going to slag him off. Foden was getting a bit of stick at the start of the season, wasn't he? Because he wasn't doing it, and now he's doing it, so that's fair enough. So really, I think Mahrez is the only one that's left that people like to have a go at, and then usually shuts people up. And at this point in time, all right, he scored on Saturday, but at this point in time, Mahrez is, he needs to shut people up, and he isn't doing just at the moment. But then again, he's not getting many games, so it's a chicken and egg, I think, with Mahrez. But we have to pick on someone. City have to pick on someone. He is Big Morgan. I mean, would you say that about Grealish? So is Grealish a one-trick pony? The thing about Mahrez, he couldn't do what Grealish was doing when he sort of runs up the middle of the pitch. I don't think Mahrez can do that. I think he'd get knackered after about 20 yards. People always pick on Jack. I like him, though. I think a lot of people are liking him more, Vicky. A lot of people are liking him more. I've always stuck up for him, and I was quite impressed last season with what he did. And he's a lovely lad as well. I know it sounds a daft, because it's the footballer we want, not the bloke. But I don't like City having our souls as players. I like City having nice guys. And fortunately, we have a lot of nice guys, I think, in the City team. Grealish is a no-trick pony. That's a bit harsh, Big Mo. I know you like Jack, really. I know you're a closet Jack Grealish fan. I know you've started his supporters club in Belfast, the Jack Grealish Appreciation Society, mate. I know you've started that off, so I know you're just trying to deflect. I know you're trying to deflect people from knowing what you really think. Did you see that little thing on Twitter today where he was doing some sort of weird manoeuvre in training with Kevin De Bruyne? He's doing like a twist and a kick. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Perhaps he's getting ready for Strictly. Perhaps he's going on Strictly next year. If Tony Adams can do it, perhaps Jack Grealish thinks he could do it as well. Well, I think so, Vicky. I mean, who on our team wouldn't you want to go out for a drink with and have a laugh with? There's some are quieter. Obviously, some guys are quiet, but who would you? I mean, some other teams, their players, you go out for a drink. Once you've had a couple of beers, they'll be scrapping, won't they? But I just don't see that. Even Grealish, once he's had a few beers, he'd just be laughing and smiling. He wouldn't be scrapping with anybody. Grealish can't believe he's playing with KDB and Haaland, and no can I. Is that the tagline of your appreciation society, mate? Is that what you put in your Belfast Jack Grealish supporters club? Jack can't believe he's playing with KDB and Haaland. ... Nor can I, or nor can we. I'm gonna tell him. He comes on and has a look. He doesn't speak on air, but he comes on and has a look just to see what's going on. Giggs is okay if you like black eyes. Well, Mr. Giggs, well, that's what I mean. You think of Ryan Giggs, you think of that the boys, you know, the young boys. You know, I don't Neville's, Nicky Butt. I mean, he was a bit quieter, wasn't he? Nicky Butt, he was a bit quieter. I worked with his dad, you know, guys. I used to work with Nicky Butt's dad at Smithfield Market, Terry Butt. He died a few years back, but I used to work with him. Giggs is a minger and a bully. Yeah, I can show that. That's an opinion, Vicky. Absolutely, and you know, any men who bully women or bully people in general. You know, it doesn't have to be women. You find bullies are bullies anyway. They'll bully women and men as well. My sister, my sister's husband used to be a horrible man. And he used to be physically attack my sister back in the day, but he was a thug generally. He would, you know, he's a hard man. He used to beat up blokes as well, so not very nice at all. But fortunately, she got out of it, and he died at an early age as well. So he got what was coming to him, I think. Big Morgan, my niece lives in Birmingham. She met Grealish. I told her to keep it to yourself. Stop having a bash at Grealish. Don't be mean. Giggs is a bad chicken. Yeah, he's certainly a bad robot, that's for sure. About his brother, do you like his brother? I don't think they get on, do they? And Finger used to work at the market as well. Bobby Johnston, very well, you know, the City striker from the 50s. He was at the market when I started work there in the mid 80s, I think it was. I started working at Smithfield Market in Openshaw there. Yeah, and then as I say, Terry Butt was all right. We had a good laugh. Terry was a nice bloke. He used to work in the warehouse. Paddy Power likes him, yeah. Well, he likes the money off Paddy Power, doesn't he? I was in that syndicate this year, guys, for that We're Not Really Here horse for the Blue Moon Racing. I think it cost about 70 quid or something. Just run his last race tonight, and he finished second, the bugger. So I think he had 3 seconds, but he never got a win all season, and it's sort of ending now because the flat season's nearly over. So the syndicate, I lost a few quid. So as well, it cost me 70 quid for the horse. I lost a few quid on betting. I won today, but because I did it each way, but only a few pennies, so I'm a bit gutted. I did meet Buzzer. I did meet Mike Summerby, Big Morgan. Yeah, I met him. You remember when he had opened that pub near the ground when we moved to Eastlands, and he had a pub, didn't he? And I met him there, only to shake his hand and say hello, sort of thing. Nothing, no deep conversations. But so I met him there. Was it? I know he's got Summerby's bar at City Square, hasn't he? But he used to have a pub, didn't he? You know, when we first went to Eastlands in 2003, 2004. He had a pub round the back, and we went in the pub a few times around there. I don't know what it was. Can't remember what it's called now, guys. I can't remember where it was. My memory's shot. I don't know if you guys ever went in it. And I'm sure I must have got his autograph when I was a kid, waiting outside Main Road and Platt Lane there, the corner where they used to go in the car park and walk up to the main entrance at Main Road. I'm sure I got his autograph as a kid, but that was about it. I spoke to Colin Bell. I spoke to Colin Bell on the phone, but I never personally met the guy. I'm gutted, but I did speak to him on the phone a couple of times. The days before mobile phones. Well, this is it, mate. This is when you had your autograph book and you go and get an autograph. I mean, you didn't even take your program. You didn't even sort of take your program and say, "Oh, can you sign?" You know, you didn't even take one of these. You had a proper autograph book. You're far too young, Vicky. You won't remember these things, but and obviously you just used to get them. I was always dead nervous, so I was always, you know, I was always sort of last to do it, or I didn't thrust me autograph. But it's like now, if I meet someone famous, I'm not really bothered about a selfie. I don't really bother with anything like that. I don't do it unless someone else, you know, the other person does it. It doesn't really interest me that much. I mean, I should be. I just feel a bit not embarrassed, but I don't know. It's just not me. It's just not me. I'm not embarrassed. I can speak for England. I can chat. But I'm confident. I just don't like doing it. I bought Buzz's book and it's just signed. Well, there you go. I've got I've still not got Paul Lake's book back off my son. He's had it for years. I hope he's still got it. He's not thrown it away because I've lent him it and got that. I've got Dennis Stewart book. That's signed by Dennis Stewart. I met him a couple of times. Chatted with him a couple of times at a couple of supporters club meetings. He does a lot of those, doesn't he? I think Dennis Stewart. You're never 50, Vic. You don't even go there. No way. You meant to type 30 there, didn't you? You're not 50. Come on, behave. Don't try and fool old Bernard. I'm not. I know I'm only 36, but don't try and fool me by saying. I'm very surprised, Vicky. Honestly, Vicky, I'm not messing about. I wouldn't have put you nowhere near 50. Nowhere near. About Franny Lee, yes, I met Franny. Well, I shook his hand once. Right, Franny, I met at a race course. I can't remember the race course, but when he had his horses, and I sort of just went, "Why, Franny, all right, mate? How are you doing?" And that was it. Shook his hand, and that was it. When he was on his way to the enclosure to watch one of his horses, when he used to have some horses. So nothing to do with football, Big Morgan, but. He was just a Mike Shannon as well. It's the same. I've shook his hand at a race meeting as well because obviously he still is doing the horses, isn't he, Mike Shannon? One of his horses was in that Were Not Really His race tonight at Wolverhampton that I watched. So yeah. But no, I'm definitely 50. I was born the same year as Alfie. What's it all about, Alfie? Is it? Well, you surprised me, Vicky. You look extremely well, love for your age. You should be proud of yourself. I would never have said that in a Big Morgan would have done because he's mean, but I would never have said that in a million years. I think we'll have to start a little WhatsApp group, Big Morgan and Vicky, just for us three, because if no one's going to start coming on here and chatting, it will just probably just best doing that. Joe, Big Morgan. I must have told you about Joe Corrigan. I must have told, not only have I met Joe Corrigan and chatted to Joe Corrigan, Joe Corrigan won me a prize. Joe Corrigan won me a prize in the late 70s at the City Social Club. Yeah, so yes, Joe Corrigan, he was my hero anyway, because I like to play as a keeper as well, as you know. And we used to have scratch-off lottery tickets at City, Quicksilver tickets. And every year they had a thing called like the Golden Shot, and the players used to come to the club, and if you got picked, they'd throw darts for you to win prizes. And Joe Corrigan won me a radio cassette player. So what I used to tape all the top 20 on a Sunday evening on BBC One. Joe Corrigan, for years I used that record cassette player. And Joe Corrigan won it for me, and I think I wasn't 18 then. I was I was pretending to be 18. I took someone else's ID, so I think I was about 16 years old. So it must have been 1975, 1976. Used to go in the City Social Club, and Joe Corrigan won me a radio cassette player. So yes, not just met and talked to him, but he's won me a prize, mate. So that's not too bad, is it? Big Morgan Vicky. Big Morgan never insults a lady unless he's got a drink in him. My older boys got asked why I do when they go to the pub there, 23. Well, it probably runs in the family then, Vicky. That's it. It probably runs. I mean, I was quite baby faced. I probably still am as a kid. But I remember I used to go in the pub, the vaults of the pubs with my brother-in-law, the horrible one. But he was never horrible to me. He was just horrible to my sister. He was very protective of me for some reason. And I didn't know. I didn't really know what was going on because I was only like 15 or something like that. But he was taking me in the pubs from 15 or 16, Vicky. And I didn't look old. And yet police used to raid it. And because I was playing darts and doing normal things, and the young lads were skulking in corners, they used to get pulled out, and I didn't, because I was just playing darts and playing cards with the blokes for money and stuff like that. So I sort of got away with it because I just acted as though I should be there. If you act as though you're there, no one's going to bother you. If you act shy and hide away, that's when you get caught out. Vicky, my old I think I'll put there 23 and 19. Do you still have pubs where you can't go until you're 21, or is that something that you don't have anymore? I mean, I've not been out clubbing or pubbing for a long time, apart from Mary D's and pubs around Manchester. But is there places where you have to be 21? Is there still places like that? You'll know, Big Morgan. I mean, I bet you struggle to get in with your young looks. I bet you do, Vicky. I bet you'd have to take ID as well. It's as well, Joe. Well, I had hair then, Big Morgan. Don't get me wrong. I had a good head of hair when I was 16. I've got some great pictures. I haven't got them on. I would show you one now. I haven't got them on me. But yeah, that was. I styled myself on David Cassidy's hairstyle, Vicky. You know, remember David Cassidy, Vicky? I styled myself on David Cassidy's hairstyle with the centre part, you know, and I used to use a Cossack hairspray, Big Morgan. You might not Cossack. And I used to use a tin just to keep it, because it was all very fine, my hair, very thin. So I had to have a tin of Cossack just to keep it. And I touched my hair, it's just like a rock, because obviously all this hairspray on it. Couple of pubs, you know. So, yeah, I didn't know that, Vicky. I mean, it just seems a bit odd. Right, guys, anything you want to talk about City before it's wonderful, this? Anything on City? Are we confident beating Copenhagen? I'm going for 3 or 4-0 tomorrow. And then what about a prediction for the Liverpool game, guys? What do you think? Not Cossack vodka, Big Morgan. Cossack hairspray. Yeah, it probably tastes like vodka. I mean, probably put it with water. It's probably good enough. So, Vicky, Big Morgan, what's prediction against Liverpool? What score are we going for? Be proper now. Don't be serious. Don't be silly with it. Be serious with it. What score are we going to beat Liverpool? Are we going to beat them? Or are they going to turn us over? Like, you know, we've been better the last couple of years at Anfield, haven't we? So I'm hoping we'll be better again. Big Morgan, we need to make a statement, mate. You know, we don't want, because if Liverpool win that, I think they'll use that as a springboard to come back. 4-2 for City. That's a great score, Vicky. I'll have that one. That's brilliant. 4-1. Right, well, I'm going to go. What am I going to go? I think they'll score Liverpool. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. Yeah, I mean, I'll play safe and say 3-1, which is a pretty safe score, isn't it? 3-1. So, Vicky, I'm going to make a note for next time when I chat to you. We might be on WhatsApp because, you know, there's only us 3 on it. Vicky says 4-2. So I'll get you on Twitter. I'll get you on Twitter anyway. Big Morgan says 4-1. And I'm saying 3-1. Yeah, so that'll do. And if it ends up 0-0, I don't know. I'll just blame you two for being too positive. That's the problem. Well, I got 6 likes anyway, guys. So I mean, I did all right. I don't know where I got 6 likes from, but even though there's only there's 5 on at the moment, but there's only 3 of us, isn't there? Vicky, Big Morgan. The other guys might be listening to this inane crap, but there you go. Foden and Ireland will score. Well, they're on fire, aren't they, Vicky? They're on fire. They are on fire, Foden and Ireland. So, fingers crossed, Ireland can get at least a couple and Foden can get 1 or 2. I think they'll both play. I think it'll be an interesting team. I've got the team for that. I'm going to wait till the Copenhagen game finishes before I pick my team for the Liverpool game. We get beat, I better get a bottle of Cossack. But better get a couple of bottles, Big Morgan, get me one as well. I'll be gutted. Because if we get beat and Arsenal win, I mean, I was hoping to go in the World Cup top of the league, probably 3 or 4 points clear. But I mean, at this point in time, if Arsenal keep winning, it doesn't look likely. And obviously United winning last night. Then again, Everton always roll over against United, don't they? Terrible team again. They've got an awful record against United at Goodison over the last few years. So we don't want them catching us up again after we embarrass them, do we? Did you meet? No, I didn't, Big Morgan. No, I watched him a few times, mate. No, I'm not very good on the modern players. The last sort of set of modern-y players that I know at City when the young kids, the Eric Nixons and all that lot were coming through, because I used to play football with them on the park. So Mark Lillis, Eric Nixon. I was like 18, 19. They were a bit younger. So Yeah, but and this, you know, I don't get to see any now, do you? You don't really get to see any. They're all mollycoddled unless you stalk them at the training ground. What about you, Big Morgan? Who's the most go on then? Before we go, Vicky, who's the most famous City player you've spoke to, not just met or shook their hand or give a kiss to? Big Morgan, the same to you. The most famous City player you've given a kiss to. Come on, before we go. Come on, Vicky, Big Morgan. Come on, have a think. Most famous. You've shook their hand or you've kissed them or you've done a selfie with. Have you, or any at all? I mean, you might not have done. I don't know. Come on, before we go, you two, come on. Old school. I met Frank Lampard, but that he's not. Oh yeah, he did play for City. Sorry, Vicky, I was going to say he's not a City player, but he did play for City. Of course, he did. He won you all. Bog off, Big Morgan. Well, I was Big Morgan. I knew you were going to say Jack Grealish because obviously he comes down to your club to meet the fans, doesn't he? Right, guys, I'm going to go. It's been wonderful having you two on. I mean, as I said, it's not been great. It's not been many on tonight, but a bit quiet. But Vicky, I love you to bits. Big Morgan, I love you to bits as well, you big lummox. So we'll see you very soon. As I say, we might have a think about doing this if, say, we'll have to get together on WhatsApp or stuff rather than this if it's going to be like this every week. So met him at Old Trafford. There you go. Love you too. I love you too, Vicky. Cheers, Big Morgan. Cheers, Vicky. Thanks for putting up with me for 46 minutes anyway. We'll stuff Copenhagen 3 or 4-0, and then we'll stuff Liverpool either 4-2, 4-1 or 3-1. All right, guys. See you later. Thanks for coming on. And anyone who didn't speak, thanks for coming on. See you later.